I find out about my own arguments from her mother. Not from my wife. From her mother. Like last Tuesday. We argued in our room about opening a joint account. Nothing dramatic. I said if we're married, maybe we shouldn't be running everything separately. She didn't yell. She just went quiet, grabbed her phone, and left the room. An hour later, her dad knocked on our door and said, "Son, why are you pressuring her about money?" That's how I knew. This is how it shows up. We disagree about something small, groceries, where we're spending a holiday, whether we should look at apartments, and within hours it becomes a family meeting. I don't get asked what happened. I get told what I did. Her mom will say, "She's been stressed lately." Her dad will say, "You need to be more understanding." My wife sits beside her mother on the couch, not next to me. And somehow I'm apologizing for wanting to make decisions in my own marriage. We live in their house. That's the practical explanation. 2 bedrooms upstairs. 1 is ours. The rest of the house runs on their schedule. Dinner is at 7. Lights off downstairs at 11. Her mom does most of the cooking and reminds us to put our laundry in a certain basket. It's their house. I get that. But it's also my marriage. I tell myself it's temporary. We moved in to save money. Rent was high. We wanted to build something before moving out. That's what I say when people ask why we're here 4 years in. When I try to bring up moving out, she says, "Why rush? We're stable here." If I mention that I feel like we don't make decisions alone, she says I'm being sensitive. Or worse, she says I'm disrespecting her parents. That word, disrespect, shows up a lot. If I disagree with her mom about something small, like how often we visit my family, it becomes, "Why are you challenging her?" If I ask my wife why she told her parents about our private argument, she says, "I needed advice." I can't talk to them. And I don't know how to answer that without sounding controlling. So I back off. We met at work. Same department. She handled logistics. I handled client calls. We used to eat lunch in the break room at the same time. Nothing dramatic. She laughed easily. She was organized. I liked that about her. Things felt steady around her. When we got married, moving into her parents' place felt practical. They offered, "Save your money," her dad said. "Build your future." It sounded responsible. Stable. Her family is close. They talk every day. I thought it meant support. In the beginning, it did feel safe. No landlord issues. No surprise bills. Her mom would cook. We'd come home from work and dinner was ready. It felt like we were getting ahead. I didn't realize that help also meant involvement. The first time it happened, it was small. We were deciding where to spend our first anniversary. I suggested a weekend trip out of town. She liked the idea. We even looked at hotels together. The next day she said, "Maybe we should just have dinner here. Mom thinks it's unnecessary to spend that much." I remember pausing. I said, "Okay, but what do you think?" She said, "It's smarter to save." That was it. It didn't feel big enough to push. I told myself she was being practical. I even agreed out loud. We stayed home. Her mom baked a cake. After that, it became normal. If we discussed buying furniture, she'd say, "Let me check with my parents." If we talked about me taking a job in another city, better pay, same company, she said, "Dad thinks it's risky right now." It's always dad thinks, or mom feels. Sometimes I wait a few days before asking about a decision because I already know it's going to go through them first. It's like there's a silent approval process I'm not part of. I've tried bringing it up calmly. I said once, "I feel like it's not just us deciding things." She got quiet again. Then she said, "They've always guided me. They know what they're doing." Why is that a problem? Her mom found out about that conversation too. Later that night, her mom knocked and said, "We only want what's best for you both. Don't push her away from her family." Somehow the conversation shifted from autonomy to me trying to isolate her. So I started adjusting. If something matters to me, I frame it carefully. I say, "What do your parents think about this?" before she can. I try to predict their reaction. I choose battles that won't trigger a family discussion. It's easier to apologize quickly than to sit through a 2-hour talk downstairs. And there's a reward for staying quiet. The house is peaceful. Her mom smiles at me. Her dad calls me son. My wife is affectionate again when there's no tension. It feels like harmony, as long as I don't push. When I do push, the temperature changes immediately. My wife withdraws. She stops touching my arm when we walk past each other. She answers in short sentences. Then she's downstairs with her parents, and I'm waiting for the knock. I've caught myself rehearsing apologies before I even know what I'm apologizing for. I tell myself this is just cultural, that some families are close like this. I tell myself I'm lucky we have a roof over our heads. No rent. No debt piling up. I tell myself independence will come when we save enough. But we've been saving for 4 years. Every time we get close to what I think is enough, something else comes up. A renovation her parents want to do. A new car they suggest we consider instead of moving out. And she agrees with them. When I talk about getting our own place, she says, "Why are you so eager to leave? Don't you appreciate everything they've done?" It's not that I don't appreciate it. I just don't understand how a marriage works when every disagreement gets voted on. Last month we argued about visiting my family for a week. My mom's health hasn't been great. I wanted to spend more time there. My wife said a weekend was enough. We went back and forth in our room. Not yelling, just tense. 2 hours later her dad called me into the living room and said, "Your wife shouldn't feel pressured to travel when she's tired." I hadn't told him she was tired. That was new information. She had framed it differently downstairs. I looked at her. She didn't look at me. I apologized again for pushing. Afterward, in our room, I asked her why she told them. She said, "Because you don't listen." That sentence stuck. I don't know when having a different opinion became not listening. I still introduce her as my wife with pride. I still go to work every day. I still contribute financially. But inside this house, decisions don't move unless they pass through her parents first. Sometimes I catch myself asking permission for things I shouldn't have to, like inviting a friend over. I asked her once, "Is it okay if Mark comes by Saturday?" She said, "I'll check with Mom." And I heard myself say, "Okay, I'm a grown man asking my mother-in-law if my friend can visit." I tell myself this is temporary, that once we move out, things will shift naturally, that she'll step into the role of making decisions with me instead of reporting upward. That's what keeps me here. Financially, leaving right now would be hard. Rent in our city isn't cheap. We split expenses, but we rely on the low cost of living here to save. If I push to move out alone, it becomes a bigger issue. Separation, families involved, explanations. And I'm not trying to blow up my marriage. I'm trying to protect it. That's the part that confuses me. I stay because I want the marriage to work. But staying means accepting that I'm not really leading anything. I'm adjusting to decisions made in rooms I'm not in. Sometimes late at night, when it's just us upstairs, she'll talk about our future. Kids, travel, buying a home. And I want to ask, will that future belong to us? Or to all of us? But I don't ask, because I already know the conversation won't stay in this room. There wasn't a big turning point. No screaming match. It's just been this steady pattern. Decision. Call downstairs. Shift. Apology. Peace. The repetition is what's getting to me. Last week her mom told me, kindly, marriage is about compromise. I nodded, but I keep wondering who exactly is compromising. I haven't left. I haven't made ultimatums. I still tell myself this is just a phase of building stability. That once we have enough saved, once we get our own place, once we're not under their roof, it'll be different. But what if it's not about the roof? What if this is just how decisions work for her? I don't want to be dramatic. Her parents aren't cruel. They're involved. Generous, even. There's no shouting. No threats. Just guidance that somehow always overrides me. And I've adjusted so well that sometimes I scare myself. I measure my words. I avoid topics. I apologize faster. I tell friends, it's fine. It's just how their family is. But inside, I keep noticing the same thing. I'm married, but I don't feel like my marriage belongs to the two of us. So I keep asking myself quietly, without saying it out loud downstairs. Can a marriage actually survive if it never gets to stand on its own?